Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults. Y'all gonna say it?
And beer.
Hell yeah.
I was a little late.
Yeah, you were.
Anyway, as you can hear and as you can see, there's another slideshow if you're watching on YouTube. That's because Paul's not here. And my guest, my fill-in tonight, they don't have video capabilities. So it's another slideshow, but hey, slideshows are fun. I put a lot of work into those.
Yay.
We appreciate that.
So, joining me because Paul is out of town. He will be back next week for the start of the, I just had a total brain fart. Willie Picton. Yeah, he'll be back for that one because I'm not gonna split up a multi-part episode between different people. So, Paul will be back next week, and hopefully he won't have to take any more time off. But if he does, that's fine. He's a busy man. He has another podcast of his own. And speaking of other podcasts, I have guests with me. They're from the Mom's Wine and True Crime podcast. Jess and Krys. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
So, tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Yeah, so we are two of your everyday moms, and I know everybody says that just to sound relatable, but we truly are just two moms trying our best to navigate all the challenges that life and parenthood throws at us. We originally bonded over parenthood, but realized we also bonded over a love for true crime. So Krys said, let's start a true crime podcast. I laughed at first, but here we are. So we definitely aren't just talking about true crime. We also talk about the ups and downs and all the funny stories about being parents and wives. And we always let you know what we're drinking while we're doing it.
Nice.
That's right. So, like Jess said, we really are just like your average moms trying to raise good humans without losing who we are along the way as women. So we felt like starting our own podcast would be fun and something that we could do just strictly for ourselves. We have met some really great people along the way, and it's amazing to see how quickly it's growing. Like, we're still really, really new with all of this. I think we recorded our 12th episode this past week, so we're really new. But, so, it's been fun.
It's been fun.
So
and we're excited to be here. We're excited to be here today.
Absolutely. It was like the highlight of the week, for sure.
When I was looking for a fill-in, for Paul, I'm just like, okay, and I'm going over Instagram and everything. I'm just like, okay, Mom's Wine and True Crime. Okay, we have yet to have an alcohol-themed name, so...
Yeah! That's awesome!
Even though I don't drink. Even though I don't drink anymore.
Your name... Yeah, when Krys told me your name, I thought it was just perfect, so matches up with us well.
So,
we like to review a new wine or, alcoholic beverage every week while we record our podcast, and so we're always taking recommendations for that, too. So if anybody has a recommendation, send it our way.
Even your favorite beer, why not?
Bud Light.
Okay, easy enough.
Anybody?
Summer here. I'm down.
Anybody that's been listening to CKCB for a long time knows that my go-to was always Bud Light.
If I feel like a beer at a bar, I'd probably order a Bud Light, so I'm down with that.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
So Mom's Wine and True Crime. Check them out anywhere you get your podcast, and we're going to give them a round of applause. You two, you're both mothers. You talk about motherhood issues. I have a mother. I'm not a mother, but I have.
But you're a parent.
Yeah, apparently. I have an issue that I'm dealing with. Why is it that 14-year-old girls don't? It's like getting them to clean their room. You would think you'd be getting them to cut an ear off or something.
Oh. My 14-year-old, I have a 14-year-old son, not a daughter, but similar. It's like I ruined his life when I asked him to do the dishes or, pick up the dog poop. But anyways, I get it.
And I have a daughter, and she's only 10, but I can relate too. Like, you ask her to clean her room, and it takes her, 17 hours.
Yeah.
But, we just posted something on our Instagram this past Easter saying, give kids an Easter egg hunt, and they'll find 5,000 Easter eggs in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
But ask them to clean their rooms, and it's going to take them 7 hours.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Substitute
hours for months.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Well, just tell them they can't play Fortnite, and they're on it.
Yeah.
Or go fishing,
case.
or hang out with their friends.
Anyway, I don't know. But I do have some ado. There's something I have to address. Time Suck. The Time Suck with Dan Cummins, one of the top dog podcasts out there for true crime. He is where I want to be.
Okay.
That makes his his podcast. He's also a stand-up comic, but his podcast right now pays his bills, and that's where I want to be.
Wow. Totally.
So do we.
But on April Fool's Day, he did an episode that was fake. He did a fake true crime case. He made it up.
What?
And it was great.
No.
It was great how he did it. And at the end of the episode, he's like, has that ever been done on a true crime podcast before? And the answer to that is, yes, I did it last year.
Did you
Yes,
really?
episode 50.
Oh, no
The
way.
Dust Bowl Killer episode. That.
Oh,
So
how creative.
So I sent him a.
Kudos to both of you.
I sent him an email. I sent him an email saying you asked if it has happened before. Yes, it has. I did it last year, and I gave a synopsis of the story, and I also posted a link. I'm saying here it is if you feel inclined to listen. I said, but well done, by the way. And he sent me an email back. Thanks for listening. Glad you enjoyed it. Didn't say anything about what I had said about my podcast and the fact that
that sounds very generic.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But I did it first, and he kind of went overboard. Like somebody spoiled it for me. It's like, Dan did a fake episode for April Fool's Day. But the thing is, so I knew it going in, but still, because of the fact that I had done it last year, I would have listened to that episode because he kind of went overboard on some things. I would have been like, okay, all right, it's April 1st. Yeah, he's.
Oh, okay.
I would have known,
known,
even if it hadn't been spoiled for me. Kind of like in, the Force Awakens Star Wars movie, some asshole, made a post online saying that Han Solo got killed. But still, when I watched the movie, even I knew when it was coming. Not because of him, but I was just like, okay, this isn't going to end well. So I would have, I would have seen it coming anyway before. So it's the same thing with this. But he did a really good job. He did a really good job with it. Mine's a little more ominous.
Okay.
But the Dust Bowl Killer.
So what episode number is that? Because I want to hear
50.
yours.
Okay.
Okay.
But
We
I
have
just
to write these down.
I
10,
just had
11, 15.
Yeah.
just listen to them all. I mean, I took out the original BTK episodes, so those are long gone.
Oh.
So so pretty much everything. Some of the earlier episodes are kind of they're kind of like dry. They're kind of, but the original BTK episodes, they're gone. So listen, I'm happy with all of them. There's a couple there that are kind of but the original BTK episodes, they're gone.
Okay.
Anyway, I have no more ado. Do you?
I don't think so.
No. We don't have beef with anybody right now.
Oh, ado isn't just beef. Anything else you
Maybe
want to
one
say
day.
before we jump into the episode?
can we tell people where to find us?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So you can find us at Mom's Wine and True Crime on Instagram. Give us a follow there. You can email us at momswineandtruecrime@outlook.com. And Jess, you have some news.
Facebook?
Yeah, girl.
I created a Facebook today. I did. So
finally, we have a Facebook.
Oh, really?
So we're everywhere, guys. We're everywhere.
Nice.
So we're not big social media people. So this, like, I don't even have any. So this was a big deal for us to, like, even start this podcast and have social media. So Jess made us a social media account on Facebook today, and it is.
Well, I'll link it.
Wine and True Crime.
I'll link it in the notes. I'll link all your stuff in the notes.
Awesome.
So.
Thank you.
But besides that, I don't think.
I think we're good to go.
All right.
Yeah, we're not mad at anybody.
No.
No, a dude's not, I'm not even mad at Dan Cummins. I'm just like,
Hey,
just like,
he said it was a good episode.
And he said, "Did anybody do this before?"
Yeah, he asked.
As if it was his idea.
Right.
It was not his idea.
Well, we have proof.
Right?
We have proof that it was done before.
You're the OG.
Yep.
That's
So we're continuing the Canada Binge. You can't say that we've been neglecting Canada anymore because
that's right.
There's 5 stories in this Canada Binge.
And I think we forgot to mention that Jess and I are from
Canada.
Oh,
exactly.
did we? Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did forget to mention that.
So we're your Canadian girls.
Covering a Canadian case.
Yeah.
Covering a Canadian case, eh?
With a guy from Florida, eh?
Yeah.
I don't say A, by the way.
I do all the time.
You do. You do.
But you're
you
like,
do.
so
I'm too
Americanized by
Americanized.
now.
I know.
Not
I
even
know.
fair. So
We're covering Jennifer
that was good.
Pan. Jennifer Pan. Mm-hmm. She's special.
In her own way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a case where it's just like, it's just like you feel sorry for her, but there's better ways to handle things.
Exactly.
Another Canadian podcast is called A Million Other Choices. She had a million other choices.
Exactly.
So, but November 8th, 2010, 911 got a frantic call from a woman claiming that there had been a robbery that had turned into a hostage situation that then turned into a murder scene. And the call came from the affluent Toronto suburb Markham. Is that close to you, far from you, what?
So Markham, Ontario is about 4-ish hours away from us.
Yep. Toronto area. Yeah.
Yeah. So Toronto area does get like a bad rap. It is kind of more of a lots of crime.
It's a big city.
More so crime. It is a very big city. Markham's about half an hour away from Toronto. It's more like a suburb area. Real safe. During the time of this crime, Markham had only experienced 6 home invasions that year. That's not a lot for that area. That's not a lot.
That's not even a lot for a small town.
It's pretty safe.
Really, when you think about
real
it.
Safe.
So the caller, Jennifer Pan, 24-year-old daughter of Hui Han and Bic Ha Pan. And Bic is spelled B-I-C-H, but it's pronounced Bic like the lighter.
Yes.
Yeah, but I watched a documentary where they were calling her bitch. Like, really?
Get out!
Oh, rude.
And they didn't even.
rude.
I don't even think they did it on purpose.
Fair.
It was just, But I laughed at it because I looked it up. I looked up the pronunciation. It's Bic, like the lighter.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, that's right.
So, but she said that people had broken in, shot both of her parents, tied her up, and the thought was that initially that some underworld figure had set their sights on the Pan family's wealth, which they didn't have any. They were well off, but they weren't like wealthy. But
I mean, they both drove really nice cars. They had a for the time, a relatively decent.
They're upper middle
savings
class.
account.
They're
Exactly.
upper middle class.
Yeah.
Nice house,
Yeah.
But
I mean, were they?
You're not going to hold them
No.
hostage.
They were
for-
doing
a lot of upper middle class people don't have shitloads of money in savings.
That's right.
So I mean, yeah, they live good, but if something happened, they don't have anything to fall back on because of how they're living.
Right.
So
yeah.
Robbing these people and holding people hostage, that don't make sense.
Right.
But initially that they figured that was the motivating factor. But as the police investigated, a more twisted plot came to light, and it turns out that Jennifer had orchestrated the hit after years and years of lies and deception. It's a crazy story that once again proves that criminals aren't as bright as they think that they are. And this one's on the crazy level of our Dalia Dippolito episode. And if you haven't heard that one, you should check it out. Yeah, check that one out too. I don't know the episode number. It's fairly recent because Paul's on it. But
okay, awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, although this case has a death in it, unlike the Dalia case. Okay. The sources that I used are Killer on the Line Doc Season 1, Episode 4. That's what I was talking about, where they were calling her bitch.
Okay, gotcha.
And I used allthatisinteresting.com, and I used a little bit of Wiki. Jennifer's parents were educated in Vietnam, and they moved to Canada in 1979. They had 2 kids, Jennifer and Felix, in 1986 and 1989, and this is literally the last time you're going to hear Felix's name in this episode. Unless y'all bring it in later, but because y'all are,
I might towards the end.
Y'all already covered
will
this
you?
one.
Okay.
Because y'all already covered this case. So
we did cover this case. I think this is our maybe 4th case that we covered.
Chris is one that
we did cover this one.
Chris researched it, so she definitely knows like every detail. I was just there to listen and drink my wine and.
Well, I liked your episode. I listened to it. I listened to it after I had finished my notes. So.
I re-listened to it today and oh wow, our audio is real bad.
Don't worry about it.
I know, we need to upgrade.
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're still rookies.
We're new.
It all comes. It all comes in.
Don't judge us.
But anyway. But the names Jennifer and Felix, those names tell me that they were trying to assimilate at least a little bit. But her father, Han, he kept the ultra strict and conservative honor-bound mindset, which plays a part in the chain of events.
Right.
Han was described by one of Jennifer's friends as a classic tiger dad, and Bick was just a reluctant accomplice, and she was also a subject of Han's iron fist as well. And of course Jennifer and Felix, but it seemed like Jennifer got more of it than Felix did.
Yeah, probably. I think that has a lot to do with
the eldest and the girl.
The
fact that, the fact that that Felix was older, he was a boy, Jennifer was younger, and being a female for sure. We didn't talk a whole lot about tiger parenting in our episode, just because I didn't want a whole lot of backlash about discussing another type of parenting, but.
Well, I'm not.
It's real strict, real strict.
Well, we kind of get into it as far as a little bit. I mean, I'm not. You have different cultures and everything. I mean,
that's
exactly.
The thing,
Exactly. And at the time of our research, it was the first time I've heard of tiger parenting. So I only knew. I
just thought it was a metaphor that she came up with off of her ass.
Oh,
no.
There was a definition and everything.
Yeah, but I would say that Jennifer's mom was also a tiger parent. I don't think that she wasn't as bad as the dad was, but she's definitely accountable for being a tiger parent as well. But in the most respectful way, because where do you draw the line? We're really protective parents, Jess and I as well. So. Even in our episode, we did talk about how we can relate to their type of parenting, even though it's a little bit more extreme.
Yeah, I was just going to say
ours.
There's extremes.
We still relate.
Yeah, and exactly. It's definitely an extreme, yeah.
So, but, Jennifer was closer with her mother than than she was with her father, Han, obviously.
Right.
And whatever she did was not good enough for Han. And they had found work at a Magna International, which was a car parts plant, and they were frugal, and they were able to buy their house in Markham. Yeah, and Markham also has a high Asian population.
Yeah.
It's very culturally diverse for sure.
Han and Vic had Vic.
Close.
Yeah, Han was married to a former dog abusing NFL quarterback. Yeah.
True. Yeah, exactly.
Han and Vic had very high expectations of their kids, and they kept them busy. Jennifer was taking piano lessons by age 4, and shortly later, figure skating. Those classes, as well as school, took up all of her time, and but Jennifer enjoyed the figure skating, and she was really good at piano. It didn't really say whether it specified that she enjoyed the figure skating. It didn't say if she enjoyed the piano, although later on she did become a teacher, so apparently she liked it somewhat. But
it was said too that Jennifer was trying to go to the Olympics with her figure skating. There was nights where she was there at a very young age until 10 o'clock at night practicing figure skating, and then she would go home and do homework until like midnight.
That makes me wonder, just all the horror stories that you hear about these young girls being trained in figure skating, it makes me wonder if something happened to her.
Yeah.
I'm not making any accusations. I'm just saying I wonder.
No. Yeah.
But wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, part of me kind of feels bad for her, but what she did, this just.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, this is
no excuses.
Yeah,
there's a lot
we'll
of
get
cases.
there.
yeah. There's a lot of cases where you can feel bad for the person for sure, but
well, like Carl Panzram.
Yeah,
he had a horrible childhood, and his adult life was, there was only one outcome for him: serial killer.
Yeah.
So it's like you feel bad for him, but once he crosses that line, okay, you're an asshole.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because similar things can happen to a different person, and they don't do that. So it's like, of course you feel bad for the child in them or whatever it may be, but yeah.
So, but she tore a ligament in her knee, so that kind of ended her dreams of becoming an Olympic figure skater. But she took up the flute and joined the marching band. Han's rules ruled Jennifer's life. They would pick Jennifer up as soon as school was out. They had watched her progress in school like a hawk, and she wasn't allowed to date. She wasn't allowed to go to dances or anything that would take her mind away from school. And these oppressive and tyrannical rules wouldn't end when she turned 18. She was still living under Han's roof, so she had to abide by his rules. My roof, my rules. I don't think I said that right, but oh well.
My house, my
that's
rules.
It.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
kind of the same thing. My roof, my
roof,
rules.
my rules. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, when the crime happened, she was 24 years old and still being treated like a child and a prisoner, but that was kind of self-inflicted, which we will get to. By 22 years old, she had never even been to a party or even had a beer. Yeah, and she could only visit her friends if her parents were supervising, helicopter parents of an adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And the fact that she never had a beer, too, like in Canada, the legal drinking age is 19. So the fact that by 22, she was never able to experience that is, kind of different than in the States. That might not seem as weird because the legal drinking age is 21. Whereas here it's...
Yeah, and it's 21 for the military, too. But you can join the military at 18. You're old enough to die for the military, but you're not old enough to have a beer before you do it.
Crazy.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think they should at least do it to where they're
Another
allowed
talk
to
for another day.
allowed to do it on post. But,
Yeah. While we all
yeah.
have a drink.
Yeah.
When she was in elementary school and middle school, she had great grades, but in high school, they dropped to the C range, and it was most likely due to burnout, to be honest with you.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I mean, if she brought home any test grade lower than a 95, that was a failure as far as Han was concerned.
Oh my gosh, is that true?
Huh?
I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
Lower than a 95, really, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that's
A 95 is just like, well, it's a 95, Dad. Well, you're slipping.
Wow.
So, 98, 99, a 95 is slipping.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Which we'd throw a party if our kids had a 95.
No shit.
In class.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a good grade.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
During the summer, Han would tutor her 3 years ahead of her grade in math. But, she still did good in her music activities, which she loved. The music was an escape for her, and I can relate to that. But as far as her parents were concerned, she was a straight-A student. But she was forging report cards.
So we're talking about high school now.
Yeah.
Once she was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started slipping when she got into high school. And when her dad started flipping out about bringing home a 95, that's when she came up with this idea about forging the report cards.
Of course you would.
And she was apparently pretty good at it.
And you would have to be pretty smart to figure out how to do that in high school.
Yeah.
She'd also gotten a boyfriend when she was in 11th grade, Daniel Chi Kwong Wong, who we'll just refer to as Daniel for the rest of the episode, because I don't like butchering names.
Daniel is fine.
Yeah. She had been with him since high school, but she managed to keep it hidden from her parents. Jennifer and Daniel were in band together in high school, and one day Jennifer had an asthma attack and she couldn't breathe. Daniel was the knight in shining armor, and he swooped in. He found her struggling to breathe, and he coached her on breathing techniques and was able to help her get back to normal. Jennifer, if you ask her, she saved his life, or he saved her life. And this was the pivot point in her life when she began to rebel. The pair clicked and became a couple, and they fell in love, and she was 16, he was 17. When they met, and she kept Daniel a secret from her parents because she knew that her parents would never approve. And I also saw reports saying that one of Daniel's parents was an American, was Caucasian. The other one was Asian.
No, so he was. Oh, what was he? Like half Chinese, half Vietnamese, or something like
Half-breed.
that. And that was not. Yeah,
That was not cool.
No.
Not according to Jennifer's parents.
Okay.
No.
Well, Han.
No, he wanted.
I have a feeling.
Yes,
Bick.
According to the dad.
Bick would have been okay with it.
Okay. Okay.
But this is also when her grades began to slip, and a B would be the end of the world as far as Han was concerned. And so, like I said, this is when she began forging the report cards, and I already said this, they were apparently really good forgeries because her parents were none the wiser. She had been accepted to Ryerson College, Ryerson University.
What was it? Is that right?
Ryerson?
No, it was Ryerson.
Right, okay.
And Han was delighted. He's just like, "Oh God, this was like the first time in Jennifer's life that Han showed her praise, and he even got her gifts, and she was off to Ryerson and staying with a friend close to campus, her friend Topaz." And I'm just going to shut up about that. We'll get there.
Yeah.
As for her living arrangements, her parents had actually given her permission to stay with Topaz near the campus during the week. and then come home during the weekend. And in actuality, she was staying with Daniel at his parents' house, and Daniel had become a drug dealer as well as the manager of a pizza restaurant. You know,
Yeah, and he was a pretty heavy drug dealer as well.
it was just pot.
But he was very well known. Like
Right.
that was like, if you wanted pot, that's who you went to.
But at the time, it was illegal in Canada. I think it's legal there now, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, very, very, very legal.
How many
But
pot stores do we have in Amherstburg? We have a very small.
Like
we
13.
live in a small town.
Hey, you just said where we live.
Oh well.
It's pretty much
Just kidding.
legal in most of the states in the United States.
We live in a very small town.
It's decriminalized in Florida, which means that if you get stopped with some on you, you're not going to go to jail. But
Right.
But you can still, with that medical card, though, all you have to do is flash the medical card, and you're good.
And it's really easy to get a medical card too. It's not hard. But yeah, in our small town, I think we have 1, 2, 3. We have for sure 4. And I mean, our town's like 3 blocks. So
Yeah.
I can't get it. I can't. I have a CDL. So nope.
What is that?
Commercial driver's license.
Oh.
Yeah.
No weed for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's crazy.
I probably would do it if I could.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, at the time of this case,
Medicinally.
though, weed was not legal at the time,
Right.
and Daniel was very, very well known for dealing weed.
Okay.
and he it's just like I'm on the fence about him. It's just like, okay, so he's a weed dealer, so what? But he seems to be doing good by Jennifer. You know, he seems to be treating her good and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and he's got a job and everything. He started as just a employee at the pizza restaurant, and then he wound up becoming a manager.
Exactly.
You know, he did that in a short time.
No, that's really
And
good.
he's a kid.
Yeah.
Grow up.
And he's still a teen.
So
No, in his 20s. He's
I'm
still
on the fence.
27.
I'm on the fence about him. Although later on, he becomes a chucklehead later on. So.
I mean,
Yeah, well, we'll get there.
What's the best kind of pizza in East Canada?
Oh, hey there. You like true crime stories, right? Yeah, I know. Who doesn't? But I gotta admit, after a while, those stories of murder and heartache, well, they tend to go straight to my hips. So that's why I, Leroy Luna, have created a podcast called Excuse Me, That's Illegal, where we'll take a hardcore look at some softcore crimes. No TED Talks on Bundy here. The letters BTK won't be coming from these lips. Unless he had a brother that used to steal library books. Suppose I'd be willing to go balls deep into that one if that were the case. Anyways, you'll hear stories such as the Mad Pooper, a female jogger who wreaked havoc in a Colorado Springs neighborhood, using one family's front yard as her own personal dumping grounds. If this kind of content sounds like it's up your alley, Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available right now on all your favorite podcatchers. So come join me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
So Windsor's actually very well known for its pizza.
You have your
Windsor
own pizza.
is famous for pizza.
Yeah. Arcata is one of the best ones. I don't know, Jess, what do you think? Amalos in Tecumseh is also really good. So, I mean, we have some really, really good pizza places here.
Like a ton.
In town. Yeah.
So my favorite pizza, bar none, is genuine New York style, New York City pizza. I mean, that's good. Yeah, you have to fold it in half, and then the grease runs down your wrist.
Nice. Yeah,
that's some good pizza.
Yeah, for sure.
Although the first time I had the Chicago style, the deep dish and everything, you have to eat with a fork. I was like, the fuck is this?
I'm not big. I know. I had to try it once, but I'm not big on it. I wouldn't eat it again.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but I'm sorry. I'm from Florida, so by definition, there's a rivalry between me and New York. but I love their pizza.
Okay. Well, I'm with you. I do like to fold the pizza. I like a little bit of a crispy crust, though, for sure.
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. I like a thinner crust. Like, I like a regular crust. I don't like the Chicago style. I just don't.
No.
We have a really good place in like our hometown where we live called Salty Dog, and they have real good pizza.
Well, they have a pizza oven. It's kind of roasted.
Oh, yeah, it's a pizza oven.
Delicious. Yeah.
There's
It's
a place
handmade right in front of you. So good.
I just gave you crap for saying where we live, but yeah, I just gave it
I
away.
know.
There's
Look
a
up
place in,
Salty Dog.
there's a place
Shout
in
out.
Florida called
Sorry.
Salty Dog, but it's a surf shop. It's not a pizza place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So we have two really good restaurants in town. One is called Salty Dog, and then the owners bought the building right next door and called it Pepper Cat.
Nice.
Salty Dog,
Flip it.
Pepper Cat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's
What
like,
does Pepper
"Oh,
Cat
fuck
serve?"
her."
What does Pepper Cat serve?
It's very fine dining.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
I didn't see that coming.
Fancier.
So,
No. So Salty Dog's more like casual dining. Pepper Cat's more like where you're pretty dressed.
handmade
and-
cocktails,
yeah.
very fancy. It's very dark and dim in there. You can order a good steak.
I'm sure that somewhere in the United States there is a gentleman's establishment called Pepper Cat.
Well,
I
maybe.
I would bet money on it. Somewhere.
Probably.
Somewhere
Let
there's
us
a...
know.
Yep.
Please let us know.
Oh, there's probably one right on Dale Mabry Boulevard in
hashtag them.
Tampa. And it's like, who needs Sodom and Gomorrah when you got Tampa?
A lot of
There's
free
this-
advertising over here, I swear.
There's this street in Tampa. It's called Dale Mabry, either Avenue or Boulevard. I'm not sure, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium is on that street. But there's also at least 50 strip clubs there. At least.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Downtown Windsor was real bad back in the day. A lot of strip
Like
clubs.
when we were younger, yeah.
No, but like even before, like Cheetahs and all that downtown was so like there was a lot of strip clubs down there. Even
A lot of people
Colbert,
came over.
yeah, like a lot of because we're right on the border, right? So a lot of American guys at 19 would come over to Canada, go to the strip clubs, drink downtown. Stephen Colbert shouted out Windsor on one of his episodes and said Windsor is the asshole of Canada.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
So bragging.
Well, we're
Bragging
hashtag, but I digress. But anyway,
sorry about
no,
that.
that's all right. That's part of CKCB. That's just what we do. But anyway, yeah. Getting back to and by the way, I've seen pictures of Jennifer. She wouldn't be working at any of these places.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like waiting for a reaction from Krys, and she's just sitting there.
I was just watching you guys take a sip somehow.
Oh,
Because Jess like snickered, like she was kind of trying to keep it bottled up a little bit, and Krys is just sitting there, just like.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Uh,
That's why people listen to this show. You never know what's going to happen.
I like it.
So, but anyway, the truth of the matter is that Jennifer had never even been accepted to Ryerson. She hadn't even graduated high school. She dropped out of high school, unbeknownst to her parents. And what? The phone's not working in Canada? You would think that if she dropped out before she turned 18, they would have at least made a phone call or at least talked to a parent.
that's really weird, eh?
That is definitely something that stumped us during like our research. Yeah, like I know for a fact if our kids were flunking grade school, we would know.
Not only a
We'd get a phone
call,
call.
we have an app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an app that like shows us their grades. It's a constant communication with all their teachers.
Yeah, and
so that's odd.
Yeah, we're talking. You know, it's what year are we in? It's like what 2008. Yeah, no, we're in like 2006, but still, okay. The apps weren't there yet, like they are now, but still, email.
It's still email, phone call, something, right?
So that I was just like, what in the hell?
Yeah, that is strange.
And as
I'm sure you're gonna get into this more though, but like she's super calculated. I'm sure, like she maybe erased voicemails or something.
Well,
like,
and
she's so calculated.
Were they very fluent? Like were they?
No.
Okay, so maybe they were just naive. Maybe she kind of informed them, you know.
Yeah.
You know, with what was.
Yeah, especially the mom. Her English, sadly, was not great. So
maybe they relied on
did
her.
Call, maybe, yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, that is weird for sure.
But you're right.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, it I don't know. That was just like a head scratcher for me when I was putting my notes together. I was just like, what? Really? Like, I mean, if my daughter is 10 minutes late to school, I get a phone call.
You know.
Yes.
No, I get a phone call. I get a phone call.
No,
it's a record.
That's good. Yeah.
This is a phone call from blankety blanky blank middle school. Your daughter, and then a different voice would say her name, was was tardy today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've gotten that phone call when she was like 3 minutes late. I know she was 3 minutes late because that was a day that it was raining and I dropped her off rather than her riding her bike. So, yeah. Then later, I dropped her off. She was like 3 minutes late, and it was like right at 9 o'clock when it got there, but it was probably like 9:05 by the time she got to her class.
Right.
Then, like an hour later, I get this phone call.
Yeah.
So it's just a head scratcher on what.
Yeah, that is weird.
Was. Yeah, but Jennifer had lied to everybody, telling them that she was at the university, but in reality, she was spending school time, in libraries and cafes. She bought used textbooks and watched YouTube videos on the subject that she was allegedly studying in college, so that she would. And she also had like notebooks full of notes that she took off of these YouTube videos and everything, just to maintain the charade. And in case somebody asked her, "Hey, what are you learning in whatever you're taking?" she would, be able to like throw something at them. Mm-hmm. So, in a sense, I mean, you can, if you've never played guitar before in your life, you could get on YouTube, and if you spend like 2 years on it, like nonstop, like practicing like maybe an hour a day. Every day for 2 years, you will be a virtuoso in 2 years. I mean, so that's not out of the realm of possibility for her to do that, even back then.
Right.
So I mean, she was learning. It's too bad that you can't get accredited from YouTube.
I know.
It is kind of crazy though, like when you think about how much time she spent.
Yeah.
Putting into making these like false grades.
Yeah, just go to school.
Spending time in the library. Yeah, just go to school.
But the thing is, any college that she went to, okay, Ryerson, that's an upper level college from my understanding. But even if she had gone to like a community college or whatever, that still cost money, which is something she didn't have.
True. She did fake scholarships, so she had fake scholarship letters, which is why her parents thought that they did not have to pay for any tuition or anything like that. It was because she was like, "Oh, look, Mom and Dad, I got a scholarship to Ryerson, and they're gonna pay for a scholarship." When in fact it was not true. Right. So, but really, at the end of the day, if she would have just applied herself, she's a real smart girl.
Mm-hmm.
So she was just
she can do all this. She could have applied herself.
She's books.
Real scholarship.
She's book smart. She ain't street smart.
Yeah. So she was drowning in lies and backed into a corner and terrified
and she was so good at it.
And it gets worse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, She continued forging the report cards and living with Daniel during the week, coming home on the weekend. Her parents bought this lie hook, line, and sinker. As far as they were concerned, Jennifer was a straight-A student at Ryerson University. Daniel had started off at Cardinal Carter Academy. Cardinal Carter Academy.
Cardinal Carter Academy.
I leave that stuff in because it's funny.
As you should.
But he got bounced from there for bad grades, and the fact that he was caught with marijuana, the devil's lettuce.
Yes.
But, yeah, he wound up at York University, which was a community college. But still, he's in college at this point, and Jennifer is not. Mm-hmm. This went on for several years. But then it came time to graduate. Bum, bum, bum.
Yep.
So she bought a counterfeit diploma online. But there was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Han and Bick would want to come to the graduation ceremony.
Right.
Bum,
And
bum,
rightfully
bum.
so. Yeah.
Proud parents.
Yeah, and of course they would. I mean, he had raised Jennifer for this moment. This was it. This was it. This is the payoff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a great
Right.
parent. Yay. She's a great daughter. She's a great student. Yes. She's a college graduate that had straight A's all throughout college. Yes. You gotta imagine this guy's on cloud 9. He's probably out, like celebrating with friends with cigars and,
For sure.
non-alcoholic beer and, I really feel now I'm starting to feel bad for him. Earlier I felt bad for Jennifer and had a little animosity toward him. Now the roles are reversed.
Yeah, he's like, I'm such a good dad. I really made something of my daughter. It's true.
No, he made something.
Yeah, well, he sure did.
He made a murderer.
Yeah.
So the story she came up with, once again, head scratcher. Or were her parents as smart as we give them credit for? This is a head scratcher. Like I said, they're book smart too, not street smart, and they also had no clue that their daughter was spinning all this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But the story she came up with was saying that the school was only allocating one ticket, and she didn't want to have to choose which parent would be able to go. So she's like, okay, I don't want either one of you to go because I can't choose. Which sound reason?
Doesn't make sense.
It does. It does make sense. It doesn't make sense that the college would do that. It does make sense for her saying, I love you both. So if one of you has to stay behind,
Yeah.
But I don't see a college saying like,
No.
oh, sorry, just like one parent can come. No. It doesn't work that way.
If that was me, I'd be like, well, I'm going, and that's me.
Yeah.
Fight for it.
obviously.
I mean, he even,
Sorry,
Han
Dad.
even said, it's just like, well, you sit in the chair, I'll stand along the back wall.
No.
I was just like, come here, I want to give you a hug, Han.
Yeah,
So
that's
sad.
sad.
But that just shows how calculated she
That's
was.
How
sad.
gullible they were.
For sure.
True.
So,
Yep,
so
very
naive.
true.
So naive, yeah.
Yeah.
For being super, super smart, they were equally super, super gullible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad.
And I feel real bad saying that. But
That's sad. You want to believe what your kids say, though, right?
Yeah.
You don't think the
Absolutely.
worst. You want to think the best. You want to believe them. I'm guilty of that.
especially she's not like a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
She's 24
Right.
at this time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you're an adult.
Mhm.
You're old enough to have your own life, your own family, and yet
Yeah,
you're
that's weird.
choosing to make up these elaborate lies. Like what?
Yeah, that's
Well,
crazy.
we're gonna get into that, but
Sorry.
no, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, you don't have my notes in front of you.
No, just mine.
So, but she promised lots of pictures and the diploma, and so she can.
That's right.
She's obviously pretty good at Photoshop. Yeah, she's. But
well, she also said too that she was like, "Oh, sorry, the person that I had take pictures for you, yeah, he left for China, so
that's right.
I'm not gonna
That's
get pictures."
right.
So
she had an excuse.
sorry about that.
For
I
sure.
didn't come across. I didn't come
an
across
excuse
that.
for everything.
That's like wow.
Yeah.
She's got an
That's
answer
terrible.
for everything.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy that was supposed to take pictures, he was the guy that was he was also captain of a freighter, and he was the guy that hit the Baltimore, the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Wait, what?
Oh no.
Really?
No.
Oh, you had me going. This really? Come on
I'm not
now.
cutting that out.
Yeah, you are.
Nope,
Yeah, you are.
not. I got you.
Dun dun dun. Krys is gullible.
She's the blonde.
No, but I was.
I am the blonde. I'm the blonde in our duo. Bam.
But I was I was just like using a present day event as something that she would use in a lie.
Oh, well, shit. Of course it wouldn't have been her or him. Of course. Edit that out. Edit.
You know what bridge he's talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Baltimore.
It just
It's all
happened.
coming around.
Okay? Yes. That's why our freaking jam is $10, is because that bridge went
All
up. Okay?
coming back to me now.
Yeah. Hey, another Canadian.
Meatloaf's version is very much superior
You're
to Celine
absolutely
Dion.
right. Hey, okay. You got me, because I do love Meatloaf. I love me some Meatloaf. But
Have you heard
I
his
love
version
Celine
of that
Dion,
song?
too.
Have you
What's
heard his
that?
version of that song?
Of
Have you heard his
course.
version?
I
God,
have,
that's it. Yeah, it's
It is
so
very
incredible.
good.
That song
I
was
do love
made for
Meatloaf.
him.
Yeah, I agree. He's very good.
Saw him at
He lost
concert
me
once.
on Celebrity Apprentice, but
I didn't see that, but whatever. I don't watch that stuff. But no, I saw him in concert back in the 90s.
did you really?
He was great.
Oh, he's
he
so
had
good,
his daughter. He had his daughter up there singing backup vocals, and
really.
yeah, she's the one that she's the one that married Scotty Ian from Anthrax.
Oh, I'll have
Pearl.
to look her up. Okay.
Yeah, Pearl.
Okay.
But yeah, that was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
That's awesome.
But anyway, hashtag. But I digress again.
Right.
But the thought that this whole thing about the one ticket that the fact that it was fishy never even crossed her parents' minds. In an effort to distance herself even further, she told her parents that she had gotten an internship at a hospital further away. This was when Hans started getting suspicious. He wanted to see Jennifer's uniform and her pass key. And Jennifer's in her 20s at this point, and there was only one reason to have for her to continue the charade, and that was David.
Well, yeah.
That was the driving factor, in my opinion. It's just like she's obsessed with David. And
Yeah, it was to lie.
Daniel.
Because, well, she was scared too. Like she didn't.
She
want
was
her
too
well,
parents
yeah,
to
it's
know.
just like this is the real life embodiment of that thing. It's just like you tell one lie, you have to remember that lie,
100%.
and you have to remember the lie that after that, and you have to remember every lie you've ever told and everything.
Exactly.
And this is the living embodiment of that. It really is.
But yeah,
because she,
For sure.
David was a huge component
Yep.
of her life.
For sure.
right,
For sure.
because she was obsessed with him, and that
Yeah.
we'll get to that
Yes.
shortly. He told her one weekend that he was going to take her to the hospital the following Monday. Yeah, now she's still staying at home on weekends, and Jennifer tried desperately to get out of this, but Han wasn't having it. They got to the parking lot of the hospital, and Jennifer jumped out of the car and ran into the ER. And Bick followed her, but she lost Jennifer inside and couldn't find her. And Jennifer literally stayed in the waiting room, the waiting room for 2 hours, just hiding. And it's just like, Now, remember when I said that her friend Topaz? Han called
Yes,
Topaz. This bestie that Jennifer was staying with. And Topaz said that the last time that she had seen Jennifer was when she was still in college. And busted.
Yeah.
But Topaz was in on the whole ruse. But when confronted, she folded like a deck of cards. Like a losing hand at a poker hand. Jennifer later contacted Bick to have her, to pick her up. When Bick arrived, she saw Jennifer getting out of a car and kissing a young man. Bomb, bomb, bomb. They got back home and the shit hit the fan and the truth came out. Han was furious. Yeah, and that ultra conservative mindset that these Asian men have, these old school Asian men have, this was a lot more than just his daughter lying to him. This was honor. She had hurt his honor.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's just like this would be like if Godzilla stepped on a 10-foot Lego.
Yeah. For sure.
But he gave Jennifer an ultimatum. Stay home, fix things. It's their rules 100%. Or go be with a boyfriend. And she's done, like completely cut off. We're through with you.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Forever, like disowned. Yeah, and she decided to come home and make things right. And among the rules, there's no cell phone, no computer unless it was for school, no boyfriends, fix her life or bye-bye. She had to get a job. She applied to retake her high school exams. She got a job, or so she said. In y'all's research, did she get a GED? Yeah, she had to because she did get into a community college. Yeah, so she had to.
So eventually she did get her GED and she did get accepted to the college that she was originally applying for.
Ryerson? She said that she had gotten a job at the pharmacy in a local Walmart. Han didn't believe it. He wanted proof. His issue at the time was the fact that she hadn't even gotten a high school diploma at this point. How could she get a job at a pharmacy?
Yeah.
Jennifer came home one day. Han asked her how she, just like, all right, how did you get this job without a degree? And I showed you pay stubs. Yeah, you've seen my pay stubs and everything. And, she also had showed him diplomas and a report card, too. But he then said, show me the money! And as in, pull it up online. Let me see your bank deposits. Busted. There was no money. She had been with Daniel while she was supposedly at work. If Han hadn't exploded already, this explosion probably measured on the Richter scale.
For sure.
I mean, he's saying, it's like he said she's no longer allowed to see Daniel ever again, or she had to wait until he was dead if she wanted to see Daniel.
Yeah.
So, but Daniel decided that he couldn't live like this, sneaking around and everything. They're adults, for Christ's sake.
Exactly.
He wanted a normal relationship like everybody else. They stayed friends, but Daniel moved on. But once he moved on, Jennifer was scorned, and she claimed to Daniel that a man dressed as a cop came into their house one night, and that he and a couple other men had gang raped her. She said that in the days that followed, somebody had mailed a bullet to her. She didn't report this to the police. Why? Why?
Because it wasn't true.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was her own story.
She just told this to Daniel, and said that it had been orchestrated by Daniel's new girlfriend. So she's loopy at this point. You can make it the case that, that it was because of how oppressively, strictly she had been raised, but that excuses nothing.
Right.
You don't freaking just you don't accuse somebody of, like, oh, your girlfriend had to be gang raped. Jennifer had gotten her high school diploma at this point and been applying to colleges, and she was accepted into one. She had gotten a job at a restaurant and given piano lessons, and she had regained her parents' trust somewhat. She had even gotten her phone back, but she's 24 years old at this point. Jennifer and Daniel were back in contact, and they came up with a plan to hire a hitman for $10,000 to kill her parents. They figured that she would inherit $500,000 from life insurance, and they were going to get a place and be together forever.
Isn't that the dream?
Wow. Romance.
Love. True love.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
My favorite movie.
That's like the only chick flick that every man likes.
What? I know, it's true. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's got everything, man.
So that's a bit of an escalation there. Yeah, just like, hey, it's nice to see you again, Daniel. I'm glad you got rid of that bitch, but let's kill my parents. And that was bitch. I meant to say bitch there. I wasn't talking about her mother. Yeah.
You were referring to Dick.
I wasn't talking about the lighter. I wasn't talking about Jennifer's mother. But
no.
Daniel connected Jennifer with Linford Roy Crawford, a Jamaican man who went by Homeboy. Because I'm a Jamaican boy. I'm sorry.
Jamaican
God,
boy.
that just popped in my head.
Oh,
God
no.
damn it.
No. I saw that too many times in, like, what would you say, like maybe 2 weeks?
Yeah.
On
Our
repeat
boys
for like 2 weeks.
Videos of it.
Obsessed.
Yes.
Obsessed.
True story. I was in Miami. Because I go to Miami a lot with my job and everything. I was driving down the turnpike, came across this accident and everything. It was on the shoulder. There was no traffic pileup or anything, but one of those two island boys was involved in the accident, and I saw him standing on the set. Yeah.
No
way. Yes.
My kids would die for that video. Do you have like a dash cam?
If I had thought about it, well, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been pointed to the. It wouldn't have been pointed to the shoulder anyway. So, but I'm just like, I was just like, I'm an island boy, and I can't drive.
I'm an island boy. Sweet red wine.
So bad. Oh, that's funny.
Oh man, but I don't know who was at fault or whatever. But yeah, there was an island boy on the
That's an awesome story, though.
I'm so glad their 15 minutes are up. God, if they had like gotten like famous
Totally.
and just like hit it like really big.
I know.
Yeah, I'm.
That would be disappointing.
I'm a Florida
that one
man,
video is
but
disappointing.
I think I speak for all Floridians when I say we don't claim those two.
Wow.
Okay, fair. Okay, there's some that we want to throw away too.
Like
so.
Jennifer Penn.
She would be one of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
There you go.
hashtag. But I digress. I'm having fun though. I'm having fun, and listeners, I hope you're having fun. You know, like listening to this because we are having a blast
Yes,
here.
I hope so.
So anyway, Daniel gave Jennifer a cell phone so that they could communicate via text, and nothing would show up on her main cell phone. Crawford then contacted Eric Carty, who went by Sniper, who brought in
Scary.
who brought in David Mill, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. You pronounced it right on your episode.
Chris?
Oh, well, shit.
David
Okay,
Mill. Blah, 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 blah,
It
blah.
wasn't me.
okay, hold on. I'll find it.
Cute. Is it French?
No.
No. Polish.
It's MYL and about 30 other letters. No,
Without
there were
vowels.
vowels in it, but
No.
You're putting me on the spot. Hold on.
Oh, we'll just continue because his name comes up again, and I don't try to pronounce it again. So, November 8, 2000. November 8,
I've been there.
2010, Han returned home from work. He changed, he got ready for bed, and he settled in, with his laptop and everything. He's just chilling out before he goes to bed. He goes to sleep. Jennifer had a friend over to watch TV. Bick went out to her dancing class. It's 8 p.m. at this point. Han then goes, turns in for the night. Jennifer's friend leaves, and then Jennifer pulled out her regular phone and called another friend. Around 10 p.m., Bick returned home. She got ready for bed, and Han was asleep. Jennifer was on the phone with a friend, and around 10:15, 3 intruders entered the house. One of them went after Bick, who was still downstairs at this point. The other 2 went upstairs. Han woke up when he felt one of them press a gun against his forehead. The intruder asked him, "Where's the money?" Jennifer said that's when she opened the door to her room, and there was a black man standing there pointing a gun at her. He also demanded money. Han and Bick were crowded to the living room. Jennifer was taken throughout the house to show them where the safe and the valuables were. They got around $2,000 cash, despite Han saying that he had less than $100 in the house. But none of the valuables were taken. Han and Bick were then taken down to the basement and blinded with blankets over their head. Jennifer was tied to the banister on the staircase, sitting down with her hands behind her back. Han and Bick were both shot. The intruders then left. Han was shot twice in the head, once through one of his eyes. Jesus Christ. Bick was shot 3 times in the shoulder and neck, and execution style on the back of her head. Once Jennifer was sure that the intruders were gone, she managed to get the phone from her back pocket and dial 911.
How are you, ma'am? Please just go home. My parents are ma'am, calm down. What? Some people broke into our house and tried to show us all his money. Ma'am, yelling downstairs. Okay, ma'am, where are you? What? Avenue Road. Yes. Can you spell the your name for me, please? Dad? Hello? Hello? Yes? Ma'am, I need to know your address. Avenue Road, can you please spell it? In Helen Avenue, my dad just went outside screaming. Ma'am, can you spell the street address for me, please? N-E-L-E-N. Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
I got questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like she's talking
100%.
directly into the mouthpiece of the phone. Not on a speakerphone.
Oh yeah.
And how did she dial the
sure.
the 911? How did she dial the right number? This is 2010.
Okay. So I did see this on an episode of something. I do remember them. I did see a video of them making her. They did handcuff her.
She
at the police
was able to
station,
do it. Yeah.
and she recreated it. Yeah, and she was able to do it. Which, I mean, at first I was like, oh, it couldn't have been her, but then. Or it was her, and then when she did do it with the handcuffs on, and it was
plausible.
So, for sure.
Yeah, but this is 2010 though, and all the 20-somethings had flat screen smartphones by then. She wouldn't have been able to feel around for buttons like you would on a flip phone. And.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the police would have had the same thoughts, and although they believed her on the night of the murder, it was on that phone call when Jennifer realized that her father was still alive, and you can hear him in the background, and he managed to make it outside to try and flag help, flag down some help. And
right.
But like I like to say on here on this podcast, put a knife in that.
Yeah. Oh man,
I do say that instead of put a pin in that. This is a true crime podcast. I say put a knife in that.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say. It's true. I mean, make sure it's done. It is rough to hear. I mean, she's definitely surprised in the call for sure.
But.
Yeah, right.
I like to build suspense when I tell a story. So
okay, let's build suspense.
The dispatcher sent every officer available to the house as well as an ambulance, and when they arrived, they untied Jennifer, and they had found Bick deceased on the floor, and the house was in disarray. And Jennifer was taken to the police station to make a statement where she told police the version that I just told you. Like y'all said, police asked her to demonstrate how she was able to get her phone out of her back pocket, which she did demonstrate. And that satisfied their curiosity, or at least they made it seem like it did. That's just my thoughts. It's just like I think they still got questions.
Right.
They're not just like okay, but still, that does, like I said, she's handcuffed with her hands around the back. This is a flat screen cell phone. This isn't like where you can just like feel around to it. Let's like, okay, here's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, and 9, and I can feel it. Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean.
I mean, but that's just I'm just I'm just speculating. I'm a podcaster. I'm not a criminologist.
Yeah.
But
well.
Han was alive, but barely. He was immediately taken into surgery, and he was put into a medically induced coma. And you know that Jennifer's sweating at this point. Because if he wakes up and remembers everything, Jennifer's screwed, depending on what she had told the police. And she had to make sure that it matched what was on the 911 call. There was very little physical evidence at the scene, so police had the work cut out for them. And at this point, they're believing Jennifer's story and believing it, but something don't feel right. That's just me speculating once again.
For sure.
There's very little physical evidence, and I already said that. The next day, Jennifer was taken to the hospital to see Han, who was still in the medically induced coma. Next day, Han woke up, and police were there to question him, and he remembered the man demanding the money, them being forced out of the bedroom, He then said that one of the gunmen was talking to Jennifer like they knew each other. He also suggested that they talk to Jennifer's boyfriend, Daniel Wong.
And there you go.
One thing I think is funny about the, not really funny, but it's just, Han hates Daniel. It like almost irrationally hates Daniel.
For sure. It's, yeah.
No.
There's no reason for it, really.
Yeah.
It's just a boyfriend.
But Daniel was brought in for questioning, and he told him all about Jennifer's lies. He threw her under the bus. And he also said that how they had kept their relationship a secret for years. It's like, he told all about the lies about college and, forging diplomas and all that stuff. They brought Jennifer back in for a second interview and dug deeper, asking more pointed questions. Jennifer began telling the police all about the problems she had with her parents, how tyrannical Han was, how they weren't even close. But the details that she had said in the initial interview differed from what she was saying this time. She was starting to break down, saying that it was like living in a prison, which it probably was, but that doesn't give her justification for Moida.
Right.
Police searched the house again. They found a cell phone. The phone that they found was registered to Daniel. They searched this phone and figured out who the last 5 people who had called Jennifer were. One of the people was David MYL, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name.
Okay.
You got it?
Krys.
You got it, Krys?
Find the name.
No.
No. I can't find it. It's got to be in here somewhere. I can't find it either.
But police knew this guy. David MYL, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce the last name. But he wasn't exactly a model citizen. They brought him in, and his phone linked up to Linford Crawford and to Eric Carty. These two were also known and had records. These 3, according to the cell records, had been in like triangulation with cell towers and everything. They had been in Markham the night of the murder. None of them lived there. Man. This reminds me of our Sandy Razzo case. Another one you can listen to. Cell phone towers. Oh yeah,
that's
they're
the best.
so great.
I
It's
like
just
those
like,
ones.
okay, you could have the perfect plan, but if you got your cell phone with you, you're fucked.
Dude, like, come on. By now, do you not know to just shut your friggin' phone off?
Yeah.
If you don't, you're asking to get caught.
Yeah.
So, end of story.
Yeah.
Also, cameras everywhere.
So the police began piecing it together through Daniel. Yeah, they determined that they figured that Jennifer had hired a gang to kill her parents. Finally, in her third interview, a detective, after getting after getting Jennifer emotional, told her parent. Here we go. After getting Jennifer emotional, told her that everything pointed to her hiring those guys to kill her parents. She broke down and said, this wasn't supposed to happen that way. She did hire him. She did hire these guys. But they were supposed to kill her, not her parents.
Yeah, okay. This is where the story lost me when Krys was telling it too. It made me laugh because that just doesn't.
Yeah,
make
if you
any
want to
sense.
off yourself, just off yourself. I mean, I'm not saying off yourself, but if you're gonna do it, don't involve anybody else. Just do it. You know.
Exactly, and I found David's name.
Good luck.
David Milveganam.
Woohoo! Now say it like you mean it.
Milvag.
There you go.
Milveganam. Milveganam.
So if
David Milveganam. And that's the last time I'll say it.
Damn it, I was going to ask you to say it again if it comes up again.
I'm half through a bottle of wine, so I'm not going to say it one more
That
time. Rhymed. Almost. Continue, please.
But it was just so bad living there. It's one of my favorite collabs.
Just so we know who he is.
It's one of my favorite collabs that I've done.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
It was so bad living there. She just wanted to die. But she had canceled it, though. Why? Do you want to take this? This is even funnier. You don't know why? She canceled it. She called off the hit on herself. Why?
What?
Well,
she called off. They were supposed to come there to kill her, not her parents. But she had canceled. Mm-hmm. She had canceled the hit on herself. Mm-hmm. But the men wanted a cancellation fee, and when she couldn't come up with it, they came in anyway and shot her parents in retaliation for her not having the cancellation fee.
Oh, really? Oh my God, that's horrible.
I mean, this story just gets more and more insane. I mean,
yeah, it's just so bad.
It's like I am laughing at her because she's a criminal. She put a hit on her parents, resulting in the crippling of one of her parents and, the death of the other one. But the way she just keeps digging and digging and digging, and it just gets more and more insane. It's just
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
disaster for sure.
It's a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But Jennifer was then
sure.
put under arrest after the third interview. Daniel, Linford Crawford, Eric Carty, and David.
Oh shoot! Oh, now I can't remember. Oh! David Milveganam.
MILF spanking him?
Milveganam. I think
I just broke Krys. I think I just broke her.
And David Milveganam. No? I think so. I think so. Milveganam.
I broke Krys.
Milvag? Yes, it is. It's David Milveganam. No?
I had some. I had another zinger like building, but
I'm sounding it out.
Oh!
My phone fell. Milveganam. David Milveganam.
Krys, not sorry for breaking you on that one.
That's okay. That's all right.
This is CKCB. But yeah, David was also arrested. The trial began on March 19th, 2014, and there was a media circus waiting. And the first day, the 911 call was played, and Jennifer played her part well until she heard, this is on the call. Jennifer played her part well. She's actually doing very well until she heard Hans in the background start yelling. At that point, she became more frantic and panicky. I mean, you'd think that she would have been happy. Her dad's alive, and this tidbit was not lost on the jury. They also showed the text messages between Jennifer and Daniel hours before the shooting leading up to it. There were over 100. And the fact that the killers not only didn't take her down to the basement, they left a witness and a victim alive. This didn't make sense. Han even took the stand, and his version greatly differed from Jennifer's. The fact that Han was implicating his own daughter wasn't lost on anybody either. Jennifer was proven to have been obsessed with Daniel, and that just made her look even worse. The prosecution painted Jennifer as seeking to do away with what stood between her and Daniel, her parents. It came out that a classmate, Ricardo Duncan, who Jennifer says she paid $1,500 to kill her father, had taken the money and ran. This
$1,500 bucks.
Huh?
$1,500.
Yeah, $1,500. Yeah, but he pocketed the money. He was just like, "What are you gonna do? Report me to the police?" Hello, officer. I paid this guy $1,500 to kill my parents, but he took the money and he ran. I want him arrested. But the way the wheels are falling off of her, like her story and everything, if she actually had said that, it wouldn't have surprised me.
True.
But after that, that's when she had approached Daniel about it. And Daniel, as a weed dealer, he had connections, and he initially said no, but she worked him down and convinced him to do it. Likely to the tune of $500,000 in life insurance money. Daniel was the one that put her in contact with the 3 hitmen, like I said before.
Yeah.
Now, this is what the prosecution put together. That night, Han was asleep, Bick was at dancing class, Jennifer was texting on a phone. She was texting a phone that was in a car heading east, then north. This was taking the car closer to their house. David, take it, Jess. David Miller. I'm not even going to try.
Oh, David Milvaganam.
There you go. He had called Jennifer twice, letting her know that they were en route. Bick had arrived back home, by that time, and after she got home, Jennifer unlocked the front door. She flashed the lights on the porch, and that let the men know that she was ready. The home invasion part of it was to cover, was just covered to make it look like a robbery, rather than a hit, like a robbery gone bad rather than a hit. Jennifer then paid the men, told them to tie her to the banister. The men left, then she called 911. It was the phone records for one thing, hold on. Damn it. Getting tongue-tied here. I always get tongue-tied. It was the phone records for one thing. No. Sometimes I can't read my own writing even when I typed it. Yeah, and it was the phone records. For one thing, between the criminals involved, Daniel and the other 3, somebody should have thought to use burner phones.
For sure.
I mean,
For
Breaking
sure.
Bad hadn't been released yet at this point, I don't think, but still. Use a burner phone. Use one. Go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Go to Walmart. Get yourself a track phone.
For sure.
Track phone. Track phone.
Yep. Do some
A
research.
killer's
Watch
the
them.
first choice of killers
watch them
everywhere.
First 48. Yeah.
The jury deliberated for 4 days and came back with a verdict. All 5 were guilty on all counts. The sentence was life with no parole for 25 years for 4 of them, but Eric Canty was sentence to 18 years. So, but that makes the 4 eligible in 2035. 3 jurors were crying at the end because they felt that Jennifer wasn't a bad person. She just made a bad decision. And to that, I say her bad decision made her a bad person.
Exactly.
She
Needs to be punished.
She chose her obsession on Daniel over her parents. Daniel went through with it over money. That makes him a bad person. Remember, he had said initially that Jennifer. Hold on. Remember, he had said no initially, and then Jennifer waved the insurance money in his face, so he went along with it. So, yeah. He's a bad person, too.
Right.
If there was anybody who could have stopped this in its tracks, it was Daniel, and he didn't.
True.
Because without Daniel, none of this happens. Because she doesn't have contacts. She doesn't have a way to get in touch with these people.
True.
In May of last year, a judge granted an appeal, and the charges were reduced to second degree from first degree, but the sentences remain the same. Like, guess what? You're still not getting out until 2035, but it's second degree instead of first degree. So, you might be able to find a better job when you get out.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're eligible for parole in 2035. And honestly, I'd be okay with them being released if they're deemed not to be dangerous to society, as in, like, if they actually were rehabilitated. These people...
I mean, it was to get rid of Jennifer's parents. I don't think they're just going around killing anybody they see.
No. I mean, Carla Homolka is free.
Yeah. And I know you didn't want to cover that one. Yeah.
No, I have plans for that one.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that. I have plans for that one.
Yeah. That's rough. Yeah.
I have some extra stuff planned for that one.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I look forward to it because that's a rough one. I wouldn't know where to start with that. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a serial killer. They're not going around just shooting people for the fun of it or anything like that. Like, those people for sure locked up forever. Somebody like this, I get it. It was somebody that was kind of just in the way. She was an angry, I don't want to say teen, but I guess it started as a teen.
Well, she was probably mentally a teenager.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think she should have gotten more time, or like? I don't think
in
that
Canada,
she's dangerous
in Canada, you can't get more than 25 years. In Canada, you can't get more.
Well, so life is 25. Right. Which sucks for a lot of people. Like, for sure, there are some people that should be in there forever.
Willie Pickton.
I don't know.
No, wait. Carla Homolka is free, but what about Bernardo? Is he free?
No.
So he's one that's been there longer than 25 years. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's up for parole in 25 years. Right. Is it not?
Yeah. So Bernardo is, they're like, you ain't getting out of here, you asshole.
No. Although, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess you don't know until you know really what she went through with him. But for her to give up her own sister, that's what I always think of in my head.
But the thing about it is, and this is it's like I look at both sides on these, and sometimes especially when there's somebody, we're getting off track here, but that's fine. I look at both sides of it. Carla Homolka, if there had been no Paul Bernardo, Carla Homolka doesn't kill anybody.
That's right. True. Well, I mean, she could have found someone else, but yeah.
No, but I don't think I think it was all Paul, honestly. No, I mean, do I think that it's cool?
No, it's
true.
true.
I think that it's cool that she's Yeah, should she have gotten a longer sentence? Sure. Maybe been denied parole like a few times. Do I think that she should have gotten out eventually? Yeah, not as soon as she did, but eventually, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them. It's just like they paid their debt to society. They did what society required of them, and they haven't reoffended.
Yeah.
So it's just, and that's what the justice system is there for. And I think the same thing applies to maybe not the 3 gang members that they hired. Maybe not even Daniel, but Jennifer.
Yeah.
I think at some point, yeah, let her out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's tough. It's tough thinking about her sister. I feel really bad for her young sister, but I definitely get what you're saying, for sure.
About Jennifer?
About Carla.
No, I moved back to Jennifer. I said at some point Jennifer should probably get out.
Okay.
Maybe Daniel, maybe 10 years later. The other 3 guys, maybe not. Because they were actually the ones that carried out the actual murder. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, that's tough. It's tough.
I think that if you are convicted of something, you go to prison, you do your time, and you're released. Guess what? You've done what was required of you. And as long as you don't revert back to your previous transgressions, more power to you. You know, I mean, it's just
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
I'd like to think that if I just flew off the handle sometime and just like killed somebody, and I went to prison, and then I was no, this isn't a confession. It's hypothetical.
That would be amazing.
But
that would be amazing.
Yeah. No, but
I would love to fly off the handle and then just.
But
totally.
so you're I'm sentenced for 15, 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And more likely if I was in Canada. If in the United States, I'm more than likely going away for life. Like meaning I'm dying.
You don't want to be in Texas. No.
But still, it's just like I'd like to think that if I after I did the time that I was sentenced to, I'm good, right? I mean,
yeah.
If that isn't the case, what's the point of even setting a parole date?
Yeah.
You know.
So that's the thing. In Jennifer Pan's case, of course, like, she probably would never want to kill anybody else, right? Like, her parents, she felt, were in the way of her life, the life that she wanted. So I get it. She served her time. She's out. She's probably never going to kill anybody again. That's fine. Obviously, there's others.
She's got 11 years to go before she's even eligible for parole.
Right.
But anyway, I like, especially when I like discussing the uncomfortable side of this too. Yeah,
I do too.
It's like are you it's just like, okay, what do you think about that? What do you think about a killer getting out? Well, if they, I mean, unless it's something like my last episode.
Okay.
Anyway.
No, I feel the same. Like I've said to Krys before, I come from a family who can debate, disagree till the bitter end. But it's just a conversation, right? I'm cool with it. I do like talking about things like that. I'm comfortable with that. I like it.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap it up.
Han said that when his wife died, he felt like he had died as well, and that Jennifer was dead to him. And you know what? I totally get that too.
Yep.
And also, I thought I put this in my notes, but I didn't. Jennifer actually organized it was an honor thing. Jennifer actually organized Bick's funeral.
Really, eh?
It was something, like Asian tradition or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I had put it in here. I guess I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something. It's just like, God, I'm not even going to try to remember it because I don't. I thought I had put it in my
No,
notes.
that's
but I guess
okay.
I
But
didn't. No, but
just even
Jennifer,
that is
Jennifer, it was a honor tradition that let's see, okay, I think I remember. Chris, don't come at me if I'm wrong because I'm trying to remember. I thought I had it in my notes, but I didn't. Basically, like in this honor tradition and everything that they followed, if a child, if a parent dies, no, it's not even. Anyway, when a parent dies, the child has to arrange the funeral. I think was the gist of it, and so she was allowed to arrange the funeral for Bick, even though she had Bick killed. But she obviously wasn't at the funeral, but she did arrange it as far as like the the tradition or whatever.
Okay.
But here's another thought. Let's say that they did get away with this. Let's say that they carried it out. Both parents were dead, and and they got away with it. What happens later on because Jennifer had the thought in the first place? What happens later on if Daniel pisses her off?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And I'm sure you've seen cases similar, right? Where
oh yeah,
they kill one husband, they kill husband number two. They just keep going, right?
Yeah. No, I think that because she's in prison, it doesn't happen. Once she gets released, it doesn't happen. But if they had gotten away with it, she could have turned into a serial killer.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you're right about that for sure.
But that's rehabilitation, though. Because if she gets
true.
released, she's not going to do it again.
Yeah, it kind of scares her. Yeah, true. But no, I agree with you for sure. If she got away with it, she could have, could think maybe I'll get away with it again and kill her husband, kill a second husband. Who knows? You're right. For sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's just a speculation or whatever. But
yeah.
But wrapping it up, I have one more thing. When Jennifer was first arrested and charged, she actually asked the police officers, "But what happens to me?" Well, Jennifer, you fucked around and you found out, didn't you?
You fucked around and you found out. Oh, man.
So anyway.
She sure did.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Jennifer Pan. This is
that's Jennifer Pan.
Extra episode in the Canada Binge, bringing the total to 5. And who knows, we might keep going. We might keep going with Canada.
Hope so. I hope so.
I mean, that freaking cult that I came across. Good God, that's a rough one. But I'm still not over that one.
I'm excited to listen for sure.
But
Krys and I are listening tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate the hell out of it. This was a fun collaboration. Like I said earlier, I think this is I think I had the fun. I think this is my favorite collaborations so far because we had a blast.
So awesome.
So, but
well, it was our first.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
best so far, of course.
So, anyway, follow us on the socials. All that stuff's linked in there. Like, subscribe, review, comment. Comment on Apple, comment on YouTube, and definitely check out Mom's Wine and True Crime, and their socials are what? Let us know. Tell us.
So our email is momswineandtruecrime@outlook.com, and Mom's Wine and True Crime on Facebook and Instagram, and listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts.
Same thing with ours.
And yours. Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer.
Yummy.
CKCB.
So,
Collab.
hell yeah. So, hope you enjoyed this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. We sure as hell did. And get ready because next week it's Willie Picton and
Yay!
part 1. And I'm not even going to try and say it might be multiple. No, it's going to be multiple parts. So,
Looking forward to it.
so, yeah. Until next week. Later.
Later.